When you notice the child staring at his shoes, that's your cue to praise one or two children who are following the rules. You could say something like, "Maurice, good watching the book," or, "Nancy, your eyes are on the book. You're not going to get tricked." Notice that the praise is actually a restatement of the rules, and that after the praise I added on a bit of a challenge. This makes it fun for the children and makes it seem that not following the rules means that they're getting tricked, not that they're outwitting you and getting your attention with off-task behavior. Next situation. You notice that one child is leaning her chair backwards. What would you say? You could say to another child, "Janice, good sitting with all the legs of your chair on the floor." Here's another situation. You notice that several children are responding very quietly. What would you say? You might say, "Everybody got the answer right, but did you hear Eunice and Mark? They were talking so big." Training naive children to speak up is important. Remember, children speak in a whisper because they're not confident. Scolding can decrease their confidence. If you want to elicit talking big, constantly praising children who are talking big is an effective way to get it. Here's another situation. One child is constantly stretching. What do you say? You could say, "I see children with their feet on the floor and their hands in their laps." You state positive expectations and use specific praise not only for behavior, but for academic performance. Before the different exercises, activities, and transitions of a lesson, state expectations and then, during the exercise, follow up with specific praise. For example, let's try to say all the sounds right the first time. "Wow, everybody said the sounds correctly on the first try. Good working." Here's another example. Before the children are to trace letters, you could state the expectation. "Trace and say all the m's in the first row. When you're finished, put your pencil down." Then you'd praise specifically. "Good saying while you're writing, Kathy." "Super, Jack. You're all finished, so you put your pencil down." Good following instructions. Many exercises in the program begin by stating the academic expectations. You can use specific praise comments related to the expectation. Here are some expectations from the program and specific praise comments that you can make. "Everybody say the sound as long as I hold up my finger." "Good saying the sound as long as my finger was up." "Everybody say the sounds without stopping." "Good saying the sounds without stopping." "We're going to play Say It Fast." Good saying it fast. The way you correct children is important, not only for efficiency of instruction, but also for the child's self-esteem. During the early lessons of the reading program, children will learn many motor skills, such as blending. The basic steps you'll use in correcting students are the same steps that the program uses for teaching those motor skills: model, lead, and test. So essentially, when you correct, you are reteaching the skill. In training teachers, we found that initially teachers have difficulty in remembering all the steps in the correction procedure. So I'm going to give you some standardized wording for those steps. You may want to use the inside cover of your teacher's guide or a blank sheet of notebook paper to copy what appears on the screen and to take notes. First, write direct corrections to group. If one or more students in a group don't respond correctly, you direct the correction to the whole group. The entire group responds. There are several reasons for having the whole group respond. The first is that it keeps all the children more actively engaged. The second reason is that it decreases the probability of a child's learning the misrule that you get more attention for making errors than for responding correctly. The third reason is that correcting the group prevents one child from being singled out. One of the first steps you'll want to take in teaching a direct instruction reading program is to determine which level of the program is appropriate for your children. You do this by giving placement tests. Each subject area and level has a test. Let's look at the placement test for Reading Mastery 1 and Fast Cycle. The tests appear on pages 6 and 7 of either teacher's guide. Open your teacher's guide to those pages now. This test will help you to determine whether a child should enter Reading Mastery 1 at Lesson 1 or 11 or enter the Fast Cycle program at Lesson 1. The test is administered individually to each child. You will record responses on the placement test scoring sheet, which appears on page 73, Reading Mastery 1 Teacher's Guide, and page 96, Fast Cycle Teacher's Guide. You'll have to make one copy of the score sheet for each child. Take some time now to read over the test and look at the score sheet.